Hey, School, Amy, how you guys doing? Can you guys hear me okay? Good. Turn you guys so you can see what I'm doing. I started trying to carve I wanted a big old spoon that started off a big old bowl down here, but left it laying out in the sun. Wasn't thinking. Took a nice long break and left it laying out in the sun. This whole side cracked, so I ended up taking that off. Well, it came off most of the way on its own, but started cleaning that up and realized it was getting way too small to be any kind of a bowl. So I brought this side in, trying to match it up, and I started flattening that out there. And the reason for that is when I got frustrated, I reached down and I whacked this log that's down here in front of me, and it felt good. So my thought is, I made that big old mallet for the Mallet Wars, and it's the only wooden mallet that I have. And even just taking that and giving a chisel a little whack is mostly too much. So, Luke, how's it going, man? So I figure I'm gonna go ahead and keep carving this and give myself a flat side here to work with, and a round side, and just make this a little sort of mallet that I can use when working with chisels. So I have a little bit more control, so I can get smaller taps. So I'm just gonna go ahead and keep carving it. I figured rather than get frustrated and toss it away, which I am somewhat prone to do, I would keep going and make something of it. And I have learned quite a bit about how I need to make these cuts, how these knives want to move across this grain, what it takes to actually cut it and not tear it. Because when you're cutting with the grain, it's easy, even with a sharp knife. You will start lifting that grain, and pretty soon it's lifting in front of the knife edge, not at the knife edge. And then you know you're not cutting anymore. You're splitting the wood. So to solve that, I've been turning my knife, instead of trying to cut like this, I've been turning my knife to the project. So I'm slicing across and up. And I'm getting a lot cleaner cuts, a lot more control. It'll be okay. Yeah, we appreciate where you are. Appreciate that, Luke. I do. Not everybody feels that way. It seems like when people see us kind of riding a bit of a high in our life, when we're doing good, they want to find a way to knock us down. And I've got to be more mindful, I guess, not to let them do that. Heading out, baby. Love you. Be safe. I am definitely my own person, Luke. That's for sure. I luckily have never had anybody try to imitate me. This Earl, thanks for coming in. Great to have you. So being that this is going to be the working end, I'm really just going to focus on getting this flat and a bit more true to the handle. So I'm not going to focus anymore on carving this right now. I'm going to get the handle finished up the way I want. I don't know if you guys can see this hump here and the difference between this side and this side. Once I clean this up right through here, that's going to be good. But right about here in the back, that hump starts and carries through. So, and this is curving. I had it nice and straight, but it's curving as it dries, and I'm not completely mad at that. And I don't know, it feels really good in the hand. But my reason for wanting to finish the handle first is I want to be able to have my thumb on the back of this. And after I carve this face, I want this face to be whoop, true to where the handle is. I want them to index the same. So I don't want to really work on them at the same time. Don't know if you guys can look down there now and see how it goes down the handle, and then it's sloping off this way, exaggerated. But so when they do come in, I'll have to work this side down quite a bit to get it to this level. So this really through here is down where it needs to be. It's as far as it's going to go, but all this through here is going to have to get cut down. So I will leave that to the end. We got there. Hatred and evil. There are working people out there. Wes, what's up, buddy? So this is my failed spoon, Wes. This was supposed to have a big old ball on it, and the side of it cracked off. So by the time I got it cleaned up, it was a really weird lopsided bowl. So I went ahead and kept cutting, and I'm down to this strange little mallet now, because I can be kind of a brute with stuff. And I was explaining before you got here, the only other mallet that I have is the one I made for the Mallet Wars. And if I try to use that for tapping on chisels, I'm most likely going to do more damage than good. So I figured I would keep going with this and get this in some kind of shape that I've got a nice flat side index with the handle. In the back, I'm going to leave round. It could be a narrow spatula. It could be. It really got me thinking about just old school pot scrapers or pot stirrers. But out of frustration, I whacked this log, and it felt so good and solid. That got me thinking, if I was tapping chisels with this, it feels really good. I know it may look goofy to call it a tool, a mallet, and it's a. Did my one eye just blink on its own? That was strange. Like a turbo wink. I don't want to work on the mallet or the face of that. That's right. So I want to get this straightened out first. And my issue here now is this side of the handle. I need to start bringing this down. I'm showing you nothing. This side of the handle, I need to get this hump out here. And I need to bring this whole side down, start working this radius down to match this side and try to keep it symmetrical. it's been hot. We're in the middle of another drought. So my wife is kind enough to let me continue carving from the couch. I unfortunately made more of a mess in the basement trying to set up shop because I pulled everything out all at once like an amateur. Decided to go through it all. What am I going to keep? What am I going to get rid of? So now there's a lot to deal with. You didn't see my eye blink. Okay, well, don't pay attention to it. Don't be looking for it. Okay. So that's wanting the chip out going this way. So I'm going to turn this around. I'm actually going to get rid of this clumsy blade. This is a Columbia River knife and tool. And it's your little CEO. If you keep your eye out, you can find them. I got this one on eBay for like $19. And man, is it a nice little carver? I was shocked. It was out of my collection. It was one of the ones I would have looked at last for a carver. And I happened to have it in my pocket. I don't know, a few days ago. I pulled it out and just started whittling on a stick. I said, wow, this is cut nice. I've got good control. It actually severs the fibers. It doesn't tear through them. And it leaves a real nice cut. This has also got me thinking when I saw that if I had cut this straight, I could just carve a big old one-piece mallet resembling one that you would turn on a lathe. I just don't know. I think I would have to cut it well oversized and let it dry, and you guys can see this. Like I said, it was straight. You can see how much this is taking a curve to it just as it's drying. And I really was fighting the urge to cut away at this side to make it look straight. But it's not. The wood fibers are actually starting to bend that way. That never do that again on camera. Oh, YouTube is awkward. I'm definitely glad I have a good community around me, good people. Because you guys could tear me apart some of the stuff I do and say. That's for sure. You guys can see, focus, right in through here, where all those knife stops are, where all those cuts stopped. Because I'm kind of running to the bottom of a hill, so I'm going to have to work it from the other side and go past this to get rid of those. Cat dogs, go lick each other somewhere else. That sounds awful. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, no, I don't want to hear that. Luke, take it easy, bud. Thanks for stopping by. So while I'm working those out, I'm going to go ahead and start getting rid of this hump here and start trying to blend this whole thing up into this better. Now this knife is taking off much less at a time, but I'm able to cut through it so fast I can come back for another cut. I'm getting 3-4 cuts through the wood for every one cut I was getting for the other knife I was trying to use. Nice clean little curls. YouTube's goofy. Why does that pop up? It wants me to ask you, what is your favorite sandwich? What the heck? That's random. Who even mentioned sandwiches? A bit of a high spot here I've got to blend in. Decided to take a break from bowls because this is what's happening to all the bowls that I'm trying to carve. Because, rather than research something first, I didn't know you're supposed to split the log this way and take all the pith out. So they are just popping and cracking. So I'll be laying here in bed at night and I hear pop. And my heart breaks a little. There goes another bowl. So, yeah, it is. It's saddening, but I'm not gonna let it get me down. I'm just gonna keep whittling away. Now, you boys know what you can do with that barking noise, right? Thank you. You gonna take it outside, or you're gonna be quiet? You just gonna run over here and stare at me? I mean, you're adorable. Hi. Well, don't be rude. Say hello to the people. Oh, that was a loud hello. Why don't you go outside? Come on. Go talk to the neighbors. Sorry, guys, I'm back. There's Been some weirdness in the neighborhood. Um, the neighbor next door, 9 years ago, got him a little puppy. It was a Doberman, and she just passed. It's really strange. It's like all the dogs in the neighborhood know she's gone. And the dog they do have left is he's you can tell there's something missing in his life. Okay, that hump's almost gone there. As long as I keep cutting it and don't split it, I'll be okay. So you guys can see that here. I'm starting to get a. So I really need to come back to here and take off the top of this radius from here to here, this hump here. So that's what I'm going to start working on. It's already starting to come out much nicer. So I'm going to go ahead and just carry that down, blend that in. Probably about here, because I get real nice cuts through there, and then it gets a bit rough. And I would like to be able to finish this all with knife cuts and not do any sanding. Now, you guys notice I'm not pulling the knife towards me. I've got the knife braced on my knee, and I'm just pulling down on the handle a little bit. Definitely don't be pulling on something. If you're not braced, don't pull on it, because if that comes loose, that's a lot of sticking. If just a portion that goes in, that's going to be putting a hurting on you. Now, I know this is definitely not a spoon. Carol, how you doing? Far from a spoon now, but I am gaining a lot of knowledge for when I do go back and carve another spoon. I say another spoon. I've carved one that was halfway a spoon. It has a handle and a bowl. And I carved the edge so thin it got brittle and cracked when I dropped it. So I dropped this acacia wood spoon on that acacia wood floor, and it took a nice little chunk out of it. Boop. So I'm learning all kinds of stuff lately. Mostly what not to do. You guys a better view. I'm not very good at this. Carving or YouTube. So these cuts aren't really to shape the knife. These are to more to refine the knife. I like the way the handle is. So I'm just trying to clean it up more so it's not all rough and everything like this. This is all lumpy, and this is definitely getting a whole lot smoother. Just to the touch, it's smoother. Feels a lot better in the hand. This spot here I don't like though, because it's, you can see that the blade edge getting under there, and I've cut that away a couple times. So what I'm going to do is carry that back up in here, right down the center. Let's see if I can just eliminate that whole section that wants to keep popping up. Yeah, much better. Much better. Who we still got in here? This new mic sound okay? This is that same mic you got, Wes. Sounded so good with you and Smoke using it. I was like, that's the way to go. Well, I mean, it's not as smooth and silky as when you use the mic, but appreciate you hanging out, Wes. Really do. That's cool stuff for sure. What I'm removing now is a strange ridge that formed. I wanted to keep this a bit more square, make it easier to index, but it formed a really uncomfortable ridge. So now I'm bringing it right up. I did it again. Wife wants subs, so I gotta cook this guy. Oh, cool. Did you get in Phillies? Man, I shouldn't have said that out loud. I gotta have a Philly now. Benner. What's up, man? Appreciate that. Okay, so that side's good. I just need to bring this whole side up now. And see how that's wanting to split and lift up. I only cut in maybe half of that and then it stood up. So I'm going to come to the other side and nice little cuts until I get through that and make that go away. Hopefully that ends that problem with that particular spot. And it's doing it again. So I'm just going to go ahead and come all the way back up to the top here. And I'll work this whole area just down past that. Okay. Definitely needs to come down thinner, but I believe that is from the top of the handle. This side looks like it's all tapered in, kind of a teardrop shape. When I come to this side, that's just tapered up. So I think it's through here I need to bring down more. And what I learned from that other side, it's not going to want to cut that way. So I will start it from this end. A strange hump through here. I will definitely end up with a tool at the end of this, a usable tool of some sorts, but I said this is really just so I can get all of these cuts under my belt. I think every cut I take, every time I come across it and have a successful little curl like that. I think I'm that, maybe just that little bit closer towards making a good spoon or a good spatula, a good letter opener. So the whole point behind the spoon was I would have to, basically everything I'm doing here, I would have to be able to carve rounded parts of bowls and have them stay symmetrical and straight sections, and I guess basically just learning to be able to follow the wood while still maintaining some semblance of control. So I want to start working this flat, but I think the bulk of what I take off is over here. I think from, I think this is down where it needs to be. So I'm going to start working up here. I don't want to abuse that knife too much. This knife blade has a little bit different geometry. It's still sharp, and I can put a little bit more into it. Hog this down a bit and not worry about rolling an edge. And I didn't realize this is another Columbia River knife and tool. I've liked them since they came out. They've been around quite a while now. They're just a great, I mean, I'd say budget friendly. Used to be a whole lot more budget friendly when I was working, but they are still a budget friendly knife. This particular one I think is about $70. But like I said, something like this here, it's got the carbon fiber scales and such. They've got another one that's maybe $5-10 more than this. That's the flipper style, but this one's just a thumb stud. But you can get that on eBay for I think I paid, like I said, $19 for that, right around last Christmas time. Christmas time's the time to buy knives. Father's Day is the time to buy tools. Super Bowl is the time to buy a TV. When you start being broke, you start remembering these things. Yeah, they are good deals. These actually both have D2 blades on them. I'm partial to knives with D2 blades. D2 is a tool steel. So it is definitely, it takes an edge, but it maintains an edge. I haven't sharpened either of these knives. In my last two carves, I hacked away at the cherry bowl here with this one, and I still haven't sharpened it. It's only seen the strop. Okay. Yeah, and that's getting nice and flat across there. Only thing I don't like is I had a tiny bit of tear out right through here, but I'm not going to pick about it too much because I ain't going to be whacking things with it. The point is I got it nice and flat. Let's see. That section there is that flat. Needs a little bit of light coming through there, so I suppose I could come back to about there and maybe straighten her out. Because definitely flat up top there, but I'm not going to be using that. I'd be striking down here more. But I'm not too concerned about it being that flat because, the back of a chisel is somewhat rounded. I think maybe I'll just clean a little bit off of this nose so it is not the first thing striking it, causing it to go in funny directions. You just gotta keep it flat. And that put a bit of a, I took too much off of this side and to come back to this side. So I don't want to be chasing that too much because then I will be down to a spatula. And I think now this knife is getting where it needs to be sharpened. There we go. Got to get some kind of AI camera and tell it focus on my knife. Big old buds from what? E-Dog. That's pretty random. Yeah, I got quite a bit to bring it down. This is some very strange cherry wood. It's a Yoshino cherry. It's a Japanese cherry. I think it's pretty big. But the cherries are no good to eat. So, really, I need to focus on does that handle index to the flat. I don't want to lose sight of that. Sorry about that, guys. That was loud. Yeah, and that's nice. I'm going to leave the rest of that alone. Just clean these edges up a bit. And then we'll focus on just making it pretty. As pretty as I can make it with a knife. I'm getting some, I don't know if it's showing up at all. Getting nice clean cuts across there. You'll know when your cuts are clean and getting to be on the same level because the big word alert, the chatoyancy will start showing up if there is any, which it definitely is. Let's see if I can make it any brighter in here. It's not really showing up on camera. A little bit there. Oh boy. Not the first time you come in here and do that, so adios. I don't need that up in here. Get out of here with that nasty shit. Weirdos coming in talking about putting hot dogs in their ass. What the hell is wrong with people? Wasting a perfectly good hot dog. Oh no, I split it again on the handle. So that means I got greedy in that cut. So I've got to be real mindful to slice each one and not start cutting through it. So luckily I was able to get that one out. That didn't make much of a difference. I was in an area that still needed to be cleaned up, so that worked out. What do they say? I fell in crap and came out smelling like roses. I don't know who they is, but they say a lot of weird things. I don't know you. Don't call me. Okay, so I need to work this from this radius down past the bottom, just past the bottom till I'm cutting through flat. That's what I'm doing wrong. I am stopping at the bottom of that little hill, and I need to carve beyond it so that it brings it to the same plane that I'm working on when I'm cutting from the other direction. The same plane. Oh, sometimes when I hear myself speak, I'm like, what the hell? What am I saying? It's like when you're carving with the knife, mainly off grid. What's up, man? How you doing? Long time no see, bud. When you're carving with the knife, you go through when you don't want the tool marks to show so bad. You really got to go through with your cuts like you're going through with sandpaper, like you're going through with the grits. You step through to finer and finer grits. So when you're going through the knife, you want to take smaller and smaller cuts, thinner and thinner cuts. And that leaves you with a better finish. Now I'm going back through and taking my time and being real intentional about these small little cuts, the grain showing up. A grain that was hidden before I started doing these fine cuts was definitely there. There's no magic involved. Yeah, I don't know if you can see these long rings that are showing up here. And that gold color that's showing through, but that was hidden in all the chaos of all those cuts going on in different directions. Vacation all done mainly? You still finding time to fish? Sorry about that. They had me a little protein shake. Oh, that don't work. You guys can talk to the knife for a while. Cool name, mainly off grid. Yeah, he's a cool dude. Hey, Habeck, what's happening? Just carving on a wood spoon that went sideways, broke, so now it's going to be a chisel mallet. Just eating some Raisin Cane. Whoa, sounds good, man. That's the chicken, right? You get the spicy stuff, or? And that snakewood pen you turned was absolutely beautiful. This one here, man, I'm really thrilled with the way that one turned out. I know you got to see it at your end, but now you can see it from my end. But it really is so comfortable, and I don't know if you got to see the short or not, but that fits in my hand just so nice. I do struggle with pens a bit because I got fat hands, and yeah, that's very nice. So that sits in front of my TV with my notepad now. Yeah, nothing wrong with the original. I used to do the spicy, but I don't know. I'm leaning away from that stuff the older I get. The old stomach's not so forgiving. Is that music too loud? I see someone talking shit to you the other day. I was at work. I think you were talking to us about it. So yeah, they haven't been talking shit to me. But word's been getting back to me that people feel that I'm a self promoter, and it just it really bothered me because I put a lot of time into trying to support other channels and be a good viewer. You know, I try to be in a subscriber what I would hope for in my subscribers. So when I've heard from multiple people that some people feel that I am self-promoter and that I am falsely nice, I definitely took it to heart. I'd like to say I'm tough enough that such things don't bother me, but they certainly do. So I tossed around the idea, after hearing that, I tossed around the idea of just walking away from my own channel and just going back to watching YouTube. I don't have many subscribers, and that's not entirely the reason, but I was thinking if I'm viewed in that light, perhaps I'm just setting myself up for failure. I've gotten a couple messages about I am that, to be honest. A lot of times I feel like I do too much promotion, but we gotta be ourselves. Yeah, I mean, you had to search for your channel. Yeah, I have never once put my own channel name in anybody's chat. I've never gone in their live and done that. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but when I'm in somebody else's live, I'm there to promote them or the things that they're interested in. If Wes says, "Hey, check out Benjamin Winkle," Wes, I feel he's busy doing what he's doing, so I go ahead and throw out Benjamin Winkle's channel. Some people really don't like that, and they've been making it known. They've been, I guess, vocal about it. So I'm gonna leave all names out of it because I really don't like drama. Hate it, in fact. I don't want to deal with my own shit, let alone somebody else's. I try to be a good dude, man. I really do. I guess I realized long ago I could be one of these people that took the things I've been through in life and used them as an excuse to be a prick. Or I could look at the things that I've learned in life and said, hey, these are lessons on how to treat people. Yeah, there's even been, you got here, indeed, but not doing it. There, I've been told on other channels, that my input is not welcome, but I've been told that by viewers. The channel owner will pose a question or ask a question, hey, how do I do this? Or what do you think about this? And when I speak up and say something, man, it pisses a lot of people off, and I don't understand that. I've never given information I don't feel in a condescending way, a way that says I'm better than anybody, because I'm certainly not. I've just got an ability to retain things that I've heard, that I've read. You know, when I hear something, I like to go and fact check it fairly quickly. And if it's good information, I like to pass it along. And if it's not, I keep my trap shut about it. Oh no. That stuff jammed up in the post office. Smoke! What's up, buddy? So you guys right here, these, you know, these couple people that I have in here right now, this is why I'm sticking with the channel, to be honest. Ibeck, I was ready to walk away from it, but I'd rather have a few true ones come through my channel now and then than a bunch of fake ones. And I know it's easy to say when I've only got a few, but you know, come back when I've got 50 people in my live, and I'll kick them all out to have a few true ones in here. Smoke. Never as behind as me, man. I'm like the ass of the class. So this shape is really where I want it. All these cuts are just cleanup cuts. Just get rid of all the rough spots. You can tell everywhere I took a big cut, you can tell it didn't really slice through nice. It tore through the fibers, kind of broke them. And because of that, I got this white. I don't know if you guys can see the difference between how like white and hazy that looks and how nice and gold this is. So I'm going through and getting everything that nice finish cut. And if the wood allows, I may strop afterwards and go back through and give it a good scraping. We'll see how that turns out. Well, that's getting a little jazzy and elevatory there. Yeah, I ain't digging that mix. What else you got for me?
How did Donald Trump lose?
Oh, freaking political ad, of course, because I don't pay for premium. If you don't pay for premium, you gotta listen to the bullshit. You know, there was a time when to get you to subscribe to something, they gave you something you wanted to watch. And now they say, hey, we're going to annoy the shit out of you until you give us more money. Then we'll go away. Are you growling at the cartoon raccoon on the screen? Really? Do you see that he's drawn? He's like not even drawing. He's a little AI guy. That makes you like less smart than the TV. You okay there? You got it together now. He says his music is all YouTube friendly. Y'all know of Wanna Rock. I've not heard of Wanna Rock. What is this? This is Elysium Audio Labs I'm listening to. And I'm not too sure about it. I'm not too sure about it. The tag says all copyright free, royalty free hip hop for YouTube streamers. But it's awfully bubblegummy. Then it gets all jazzy. Then it goes to a commercial, 12 seconds in. Okay, let's see. Okay. What do you do for work, man? What do I do for work? I actually on disability now. I have a medical condition known as hypokalemic periodic paralysis. And between that and the seizures I was having, they put me out of work indefinitely. They use the word indefinitely, but it is definitely. I kind of fall out for no reason. Well, not no reason. A lot of things triggers it. Whether it's hot or cold stress, physical stress, mental stress. And what happens is my cells go into lockdown, and all the potassium that is there gets locked down in my cells. And your potassium levels, when you have them checked, are what's known as serum potassium, which means it is in your blood, because that's where it belongs, is moving around in your blood, going to the cells it needs to be. So fainting goat, pretty close. So what happens is I end up rigid, cramped up all over the place. That lasts sometimes for a couple hours, and then I go into a ready for a funny one, flaccid paralysis, where I can't lift my arms, can't move anything. So I got to really watch overdoing it. I had to give up the bass tournaments, everything. I can't be out in the sunshine bouncing around on a bass boat, because that in itself is enough to trigger it. And it's not fun. I am on the pills weren't working that they had me on, so I'm on an experimental pill now, and have been for some time, and it seems to be working well. But I am on a liquid form of potassium that they actually use in the delivering of the lethal injection on death row. So when you see the little plungers going down in the movies, that last one they do is potassium chloride. And at any time, I have on hand about enough to take out a dozen inmates. So I got to be very careful when I've got to take it, and I can't forget that I've already taken it and take it again. So it's been a bit of a go. My wife's been awesome. So I've got almost nothing coming in each month. I don't know if you guys have ever known anybody with that's had to be on, Social Security disability or not, but they're not really concerned about you having much to live on. And so And I'm only going to be 48 this year, guys. So I'm kind of been forced into a bit of a medical retirement. And I'm really not enjoying it, to be honest. Uh, you wouldn't believe how many guys my age and younger have expressed their envy. Man, how do I get my disability? How do I sit around and collect a tiny little check every month from the government? And man, what a stupid way of thinking. Just stupid. They have no idea what they're truly wishing for. They don't realize what they're asking to give up. If there's something that I need, that's rough. But if there's something I want, I can't just go put in some extra hours. It doesn't work that way. So yeah, it's been rough. So it's been tough to keep in shape because as much as I want to work out and stay in shape, that's a trigger. So I've just got to make sure I don't get overweight and all that, and give myself a need to have to work out. So just daily exercise, keep moving and all that. You certainly can't talk about it on YouTube. Nope. Next to nothing, that's for sure. Next to nothing. So luckily I was able to move into this house. My wife and we got this house and got things taken care of before I ended up out of work. But before all this happened, I grew up in the shops. I've always worked in the machine shops. I was a CNC instructor for Chrysler at the National Training Center. Also did work for Ford and General Motors, teaching in their tool rooms. I would train their trainers to be able to go out and teach their guys how to run their machines. So it was pretty cool. I'd show up and these guys would, simple stuff like locating pins for their assembly line. I'd say, hey, how many of these guys, how many of these pins do you make a week or a month? And they'd say, oh, we don't make them, we farm them out. And I'd say, well, you have a CNC lathe sitting right there. You have a stock feeder sitting over there. Why aren't you guys making your own pins? This is silly. So we'd get them making their own stuff. So that was nice. Enjoyed being able to teach people things. At Chrysler, different students every week, whether they were job pool students or some were old guys that were ready to retire, didn't really want to go work in the plant anymore, so they just took classes all the time. That was interesting because they couldn't even find the power button on a computer. One of my absolute favorite things was, let's see, I worked in a book bindery. We sold books. Yes, very cool. Yeah. Making them parts were cool, man. Especially when they were for machines that don't exist anymore, that aren't made anymore. You can't just order a part for it. I do a little reverse engineering of sorts. One of my favorite parts when I was teaching out at Chrysler was these old timers that would come in and they'd sit down, and one of the opening screens on their laptops, when you first got into the CNC software, would say, press any key to continue. And it almost never failed. I'd have a confused guy in class every week. I'd say, what's wrong? He'd say, I can't find the any key. And it was like, man, is somebody trying to set me up? There's one in every class. But I really do miss teaching, and that's, I think, why I'm always speaking up in the chats and vocal and still trying to teach somebody something. Wife and I don't have children, so it's not like I'm going to teach my kids anything. And my dogs don't fucking listen, so I'm not going to teach them anything. No, not even going to look at me. Nah, they don't care. Sand casting is cool, man. Was just talking the other day to a buddy of mine about lodge cookware, old school lodge cookware, cast iron cookware, like the old school Griswold cookware, stuff like that. Man, they used to be so great. You cook on it a few times, and the bottom went completely non-stick, better than Teflon. And Lodge now is using much coarser sand in their castings. Now they're really rough, and everything sticks to it. Yeah, sand casting's pretty cool. When I was first going through one of my machinist training programs, there was a guy called, or a company called Wolverine Browns by us that did all sand castings. That was really interesting to watch. Those things were pretty cool. And, they were sand cast, but they were still precise. They came out of the casting and then they went onto a CMM table, which is a computer measuring machine. And it's got a little, it's not little. It's a huge machine. It's a giant surface plate. About the size of this room that I'm in. It was like a 20 by 20 table. It had a ruby probe that came out and touched off the sides of these parts all the way around and measured it. Bing, bing, bing. It was pretty cool. And it'd come back and it'd give you all the measurements. And you'd know right away if your part was good or not. So these were parts that left casting as finished products. They weren't machined. Or some of them might go in and have some kind of a raceway, or like where they're going to press the bearing in or whatever, have that machined. Rick James, what's happening? Thanks for stopping in. I'm talking about triggers and stuff. As far as my health goes, when I was trimming the maple trees, that put me down for 8-9 days to recover after trimming those. And it's not for lack of exercising or anything. It's not from lack of strength. My body goes through this process where it just says, "Screw you, man. I'm not going to work right." And there's nothing that can be done about it. I mean, it's a genetic issue or something wrong with the code of my DNA. I've got the company that provides my medication. They are out of Chicago. Um, Insurance won't cover it. If it were up to insurance, I most likely would not be here now. I was doing that bad before the medication, but the company that makes it, after my doctor got a hold of them, and they contacted me, and they said, we'll cover the cost of this, and we just want you to be honest with us about side effects and this and that. And it was a kind of a scary point in my life where I was like, well, what else do I got to lose? So I gave it a try, and things improved. But now I get emails from them once a year. I've been on it for quite a few years now. I get emails from them once a year where they want me to come down, and they want me to come to Chicago and be part of their, I forget what they call it. It's a big, awareness thing that they do in Chicago for, it's for hypokalemic periodic paralysis, for muscular dystrophy, because the HKPP is a rare form of muscular dystrophy. The problem is no matter how much I want to go down there, a trip to Chicago for me is it's expensive. And I understand, you guys are paying for my medicine, but I can't afford to come down there and hang out with you for the day to tell people my story. Do you watch the guys? Do you watch? Oh, wow. My brain isn't working right. Do any of you guys watch TikTok? I do not watch TikTok. It's crazy though. I'll see somebody on YouTube who is also streaming on TikTok, and they'll have 30 likes on YouTube, and they'll have 3,000 likes on TikTok, and it's like, how did that happen? That's insane. TikTok works so differently, I think. Yes, yep, he's one of them, and just amazing how many likes he will have. He'll turn around and say, wow, I got almost 1,500 likes. And the next time he turns around, it's double that. It's just amazing. And, it's cool. But I don't know. Likes aren't going to pay any of my bills. So I'm not too concerned about it. I've been doing these goofy little exercises. I've been keeping my hands stretched out and doing all kinds of little exercises, not just moving my hands, but actually squeezing my hands, and they're getting like a rock. It's making it nice to be able to carve longer sessions. My first bowl, when I started that, I got 5-6 minutes in. I'm like, it's a break time. My hands hurt. But it was easy to get the grip and everything back. You know, all the years in the shop and all that. It's like the muscles were there. They just weren't working properly. See, I'm not liking this. Every time I go down a layer and get it real nice, I end up with one of these flaking up, a whole nother layer of wood. So I think my fix for that is going to be to come across. It sounded funny. It's going to be to come across this like this, clean that up, and just leave it. And I'm going to stop cutting through there. And bring my other side of my handle in to match it. One spot right there. Okay, I think it's just the top of the handle here now. We'll work this up and clean it up, and it's going to be a whole lot better. Hey, Amy. No, it's improving. I definitely appreciate you guys being kind, but I don't mind you being honest about it. I don't mind. You won't make me cry. Well, not on camera, at least. Yeah, so really, I just wanted to clean it up and make sure that, if I pick this up and slap my hand on it, I'm not going to get a splinter. And the way it is now, I most certainly could. I'm really liking the way this little knife is cutting. It's definitely not a carver, but it's doing a nice job of playing one. Like a dude disguised as a dude playing another dude, something like that. Anything someone makes by hand, you'll get praise from me. I kind of feel the same way, Amy. Um, just because they took the time, put the effort in. You know, uh, I mean, for certain, I'm going to think it's way cooler than something somebody bought. And not there's anything wrong with power tools. I would use them if I had them. But this is pretty cool. Oh yeah? What do you see? I don't believe you. I don't even think we have those around here. Yeah. Why don't you go find Mama, huh? Go find Mama. No, she's over there. There you go. Dog's names. Well, I got Chibs. He's my older dog. Got him back when I was really into Sons of Anarchy. And then we've got our younger dog. His name is Odd, like Odd Thomas. If you guys haven't read the book or seen the movie Odd Thomas, it's definitely a good one. Definitely a good one. Nice, not sure if you saw my message about emailing. You should scroll up. Let's see. I accidentally cut my arm off with the knife. What? I appreciate that, Highback. I do. Wife and I try to manage best we can on our own. We certainly don't like to burden anybody. We've just always been that way. Definitely much appreciated, though. really hoping that one day this channel actually does have a chance of getting monetized, maybe, and I can get back to contributing towards bills and such the way I used to. But, we'll see. I guess we never know what the future will hold. But I have a long, long way to go. I've never been afraid of work, so that part doesn't scare me. And, I work really hard to try and be a nice guy. And, I can, something big that I deal with is I can tolerate people that aren't too bright. That doesn't bother me because not everybody is. And that's okay. What bothers me is willful ignorance. That brings something out of me. I get a bit snarky, I guess. So when somebody is being willfully ignorant, I go kind of quiet, and that's me trying to control the mean guy in me. But with so much knowledge at our fingertips, and access to so many people like you guys, somebody can just come in here and ask a question right now, and I've only got 5 people in the chat, and somebody in this chat, there's a good chance that they know the answer to the question between the 5 of you. So for somebody to just remain, well, like I said, willfully ignorant, there was a guy came into a live stream I was watching earlier and said, you should be doing this way. And it bothered me right off the bat. Like, man, do you not know there's other ways to do that? Why are you telling this man he should be doing it this way? And then it sunk in. That's the only way this other man knows. Therefore, everybody else should do it that way. So as hard as I try to be a nice guy, I'm still working on it. What we got going on here? I appreciate that, Andrew. Yeah, I guess there's no shame in needing someone to talk to. That's for sure. And you've got my email, man. I mean, the same goes the other way. I'm right here. I'm not a busy guy, so I'm either just messing around with the project, or I'm messing with the garden, or I am not always the quickest to respond because I don't check my email often. I'm not a real popular guy, so I don't check my email too often. I'm glad I continued with this because even though it was it wasn't what I set out to make. If I had put this handle on a nice ladle I'd be happy with it. I really would. So the only thing that really went wrong was this thing cracking and making it so I couldn't have this nice big bowl ladle. If that had not occurred, this handle would be on a really cool piece right now. Oh, you guys can see now how close the cuts are getting together. Starting to just get smoother. So now I got to go through, and these are little tear outs. I've not been able to figure out how to control them in this wood. It's not cutting like normal cherry. But this is going to be my last pass across it to try and clean it up. If it doesn't clean up, I'm going to call it good enough because I don't want to thin this out anymore, being that I did decide I'm going to use it as a mallet. I don't want to weaken the handle. If it were still a ladle, I may chase it a bit more. I need to start carving and teach myself some patience. I don't have it now. Yeah, patience is something that I'm still working on. I at times feel I'm being patient and don't realize that I'm grumbling and sighing, and other people hear me doing that, and I don't even realize that I'm doing it. And though I feel I'm being patient, that is not a display of patience. So I guess I am. I guess rather than being comfortable in the way I think I am, I'm the little things that I see that bother me. I'm trying to address. I've been reading up on, like Stoicism, and teachings like Marcus Aurelius and such. And I won't get into it. I won't pretend to be any kind of an expert. I will say that they are very interesting teachings. Um, it's nothing religious. It's about mindfulness. It's about understanding more what is behind the way our fellow man is the way he is. Let me see here. One of the channels is, and they put out fairly short, really, pretty meaningful. Andrew, how's it going, man? How you doing? You guys check out the Wandering Repairman if you guys haven't checked him out. Yeah, he does a little bit of everything. Also, we're working on cars and gardening. He's cooking good food. Man, these dang commercials are so long. But as soon as this commercial's over, I can be allowed to look at my subscription list and tell you the name of that channel. Okay, 4, 3, 2, 1, let's go. It is called. Oh, it's a long list. I'll find it. I promise. Stoic Spring is what it is called. That's very cool. You know, well, just check it out if you guys want. I won't get into what it's about. If you're interested, you'll go check it out. But the name of the channel is Stoic Spring. I hear this winter is going to be especially bad, like 97, 98. Wow. That's not good news. '97, '98. I mean, there were blizzards all over the Northeast. 97, '98. That's man. I hope it isn't. I hope it isn't, because winters like that get expensive. Yeah, that was a bad winter for sure. Okay. It just keeps feathering up like that. I gotta figure out how to control that. There we go. So that's what the feathering is from. It was from my blade stopping there. Oh, that was a silly, silly mistake. So as long as I pull this down and finish my cut off the piece, I don't have that issue. It's from not finishing my slice when I come through. It was from coming in and stopping. But if I slice through it, I don't have that issue. And just slices through nice and leaves it clean. Unless I get greedy and get under there like that. And now the issue is I'm covering back uphill. So if I turn it around and continue on just like I was from the other direction, but cut past that point, I shouldn't have any issues. There's a bit of a knot there. Okay. Now I'm going to see if I can just go through and... Oh, that's going to finish up nice. Now what I'm doing is going through and using the edge of my knife more like a card scraper. And that's getting rid of the fine lines that were between the cuts. But you've got to do it with the knife edge either straight up or slightly towards you so that it cuts across those fibers. So if you're not producing some type of chip, then it's just laying those fibers down and kind of mashing them into each other. That and that don't match. From here all the way up to here. You just wander through the channels, checking out your flag and city. What are you using, Beard? Oh, what wood? This is This is Yoshino cherry. It's the cherries are no good to eat. I mean, they're technically edible, but they're disgusting. Very astringent. They're these little tiny cherries that are more pit than cherry. So it's well, I guess that's a good description. A disgusting Japanese cherry tree. Let me take a break and show you the tree that it came from. Oh, I've been sitting a while. So this is what the tree looked like here. I've got a bowl inside that I'm working on. That is the other half of this split log. I guess that's the way you're supposed to. Well, always wear sandals. Oh, that feels great. Always wear sandals when you're lifting heavy chunks of wood. Okay, sorry, little toe. So, Sai had said that I should be removing the pith. Me being the clumsy American I am, I had to look up what the pith was. And that's the heartwood. So because this dries at a different rate as this, you can see how it's cracking. And this is not. So when this is one piece of wood and that crack starts, it really has nowhere for the stress to go. So it shoots through the sapwood. You can see even this whole log here that's sitting here, that's starting to dry out. Heartwood's cracking, sapwood is not. This is a piece that I started hacking on, but I'm not real artsy. Let me move this up here. I don't know. I was looking at this and kind of started seeing a little mushroom or something, and then couldn't decide what to do with this from this side. And then I saw it from that angle, and I had to walk away. So. No, not a maraschino cherry, a Yoshino cherry. Why are you looking that way? It's my wood stove and my Aboriginal art. Boop. Oh, let's see. Donna, welcome in. Let's see. The middle of that one with 3 branches is going to be so cool. The green pattern. Yeah, I cannot figure out what to do with it. I don't know if I want to cut in and try to dig out the. How do I make that go away? Go away. No, I said close. I don't know if I want to cut in and take that section out and try to use something with like that crotchwood there, or if I just want to carve something out of it. Or maybe I do both. Maybe I carve something and get some photos and then cut that wood out of there and use it for something. I don't know. I'm a bit scatterbrained until I start developing a plan, and then I usually spend a little too much time developing the plan, and then I don't stick to the plan. The joys of ADHD. Another reason why I spend time in my life doing things like this, like you said, hi Beck, just to practice patience. Give you guys a great view of my ear. I guess it's better than a view of my rear. Is that your regular work? No, Donna, it's not. This is just, well, I guess anymore it is. Maybe I don't know. This is just for YouTube. Just kind of turn the camera on and start carving or whatever project I'm working on. I wish I could make a career out of this, but I am far from being good enough to do anything like that. If you guys like listening to singing, Donna does a lot of nice singing on her page. Some cool stuff too, man. Some classics, some stuff from the 80s. Not long ago, she sang some Bangles to me. It's pretty cool. Wow, you're so talented. It's long patience. Donna, I do appreciate you saying that. I do. I have a difficult time with compliments. Just to be completely transparent. But as I'm learning, I think that's I don't know. I don't know if it's a generational thing, but I run into a lot of people, not just guys. I run into a lot of people my age that have a very difficult time accepting a compliment of any kind. Very difficult time accepting a gift, and that's something I've been trying to practice this year. I'm very quick to turn away a gift. And I think a lot of it has to do with the way that we are raised. And it's just time to move on from those things. It's time to take control. And that's exactly what I'm trying to do. It's never too late in life to be in charge of your own life. Yeah, and you know what, Benner? It's exactly that. It's because it's free. I have a hard time with that. Walking in there asking for something for free. Yeah, people probably think I'm crazy for not going in there and getting that, but I don't even remember the name of that place. I think you said it was in Richmond. I mean, maybe we'll at least take a day trip out there or something. And yeah, you said mention your name and they'll give me extra stuff, right? That's where I have the hard time is asking for the extra. But Still, maybe just nice to go check it out. Buy some chocolates. You should see what they pawn off on me. What's the name of the place again? Maybe the wife and I'll go check it out. But it's only on occasion since I'm not there. Sherney's. Are they in Richmond? Are they in Romeo? Watch it be neither. Romeo, Washington Township. They're not in Frontier Town, are they? They are. Okay. I have probably been in there many times then. Yeah, been out to Frontier Town plenty. Actually, we're about due for a trip out that way. It's been a while. Was 20 years ago. Were you working in there? Is that why I might have seen you there? All right, Donna. Yeah, you be safe. Try to enjoy your evening at work. That's a crazy big hotel you work in. Yeah, so I'm pretty confident he's not in here, but I'm trying to dry some of these cherry wood limbs that I have out there, and I'm hoping that some of them dry without cracking because I would like to try to. Joseph Emmons lives just on the road from me. I mean, minutes away. So I would really like to try and carve a walking stick for him of sorts. I don't know whether it's going to be like an actual walking stick, like a staff, or if it ended up being more of a cane. So I'm hoping to come up with something that's going to be practical, but will also be something you wouldn't be embarrassed to walk around town with. So, though I'd like to carve a bunch of it up and try to make spoons, I really want to just leave all of it the way it is. And, I'll get his walking stick out of there if I can. And with what's left, I will use that as practice wood for spoons and whatnot. Carrying myself with pride was a huge snow. It's taken a long time to learn to be proud of myself. Yeah, it's like carrying yourself with pride and taking pride in what you've done. I don't know, almost two different things. Um, I can take pride in the way I treat others. I can take pride in, you know, I don't know, I guess maybe in who I am, but when it comes to accomplishments, I don't know, I struggle with that. I take pride in the fact that I'm, honest. I'm not a thief. I take pride in those kinds of things. Can I take pride in this? No. I set out to do something completely different and it failed. Um, am I happy in the fact that I didn't throw it away and I continued going and I learned from it and I grew from it? Yes. Am I proud of that? I mean, not really. That's what we should be doing is learning and growing. Now, what's crazy is I can, I could wake up tomorrow and feel just fine. I might wake up tomorrow and not be able to open my hand at all. I don't know if you guys can see my knuckles. They're getting misshapen. So I'm already starting with the arthritis and but I am 100% convinced that it's like parking an old car on your property, man. I mean, if you go out there and you move it around once in a while and you keep it lubed, um, it's still going to be a car that you can start up and move it around now and then. It might not work that great, but if you just park it, never do anything with it, it's going to rust up and seize up, and pretty soon it's useless. So I'm just gonna keep going, keep moving, and we'll worry about what happens when it happens. I need to get him my email again. I never got his Hybeck or Benners. I don't think I have Benner's email. I need to get. It's starting to look better. A lot more smooth. I'm not worried about getting splinters on that. So definitely a banger. I mean, I could knock a chisel square with that all day long, but I've still got the back side of that that's rounded, and I'm not really gonna do much more with the back of it. That would be just for random knocking things around. But I spent as much time on that as I wanted to, being that it is going to be a tool that is purpose made for abuse of sorts. If you guys are using your blades for, well, for anything, try to put them away clean and stropped and ready to go. So the next time you pull them out, you don't forget that you got a nick or anything like that. And let me bring our edges back to nice and clean, ready to cut. So I like to keep all my knife edges. Any knife you pick up at my house, you can achieve that glint on that cutting edge. And that is thanks to that sharpening system that I got. Man, I'll do another video on that one of these days. That was some of the best money I ever spent. I do a lot of blade sharpening, and that fixed angle system is really cool. It maintains a fixed angle. I say fixed angle as I fix my crooked bone, but it maintains a fixed angle all through your different stones, so through different grits, and then through your even through stropping. So that's pretty cool. I'm a horrible knife guy. Don't take care of them and don't have the stuff to do it. So, it doesn't take much, Benner. You can get a little stone and strop that goes in your pocket. For years, all I had was a stone that I carried in my pocket in a leather pouch, and the leather pouch is what I used as my strop. That got in rough shape, so I have my stone that I carried around, and my belt or my work boot. Really any piece of leather will work for you, as long as you can run that edge along there clean without rolling that bevel over. So, I know it's sandpaper. I do have a stone. I keep work for the knife. Yeah, that's good. Really, when you're the main thing is keeping when you're working the knife over a stone is keeping that wrist locked. You're gonna do all your breaks at your elbow. If you need to drop your elbow, or even if you do need to bend at your wrist for some reason, you relock your wrist and maintain that through. Yeah, because it's real easy by hand to start rounding these blades over, whether you're going from this way. Because what a lot of people do is they swipe at it like this, like they're spreading butter. Wow, I haven't had that many ever, Benner. I haven't had that many ever. So I won't bore you guys all night. I appreciate everyone stopping by. Keep it in an angle and straight swipes. Yep. That's those rules change a bit when you start getting into recurve blades and such like that, but I don't know. I got a lot of knives, so I've had plenty of time to practice keeping them all sharp. If you guys had seen my old stones and my old knives, man, they were in rough shape. Used to sharpen them on a bench grinder and all that, but them days are over. So I think that's it for me for tonight, guys. I'm gonna go spend some time with the wife and maybe watching a movie or something, and I'll put a little thought into my next project. And you guys take it easy. Thanks for stopping by.